Welcome back. I've been dying to talk to you because we are on a roll. My name is Damien. This is the Moneyline Grind, where we make sports betting profitable. We actually do it. If you've been keeping up with us, you've made money. We're coming off some great days. We're staying true to our word. We're making this profitable. Monday, we went 3-1, followed by a 3-0 sweep on Thursday, and then an amazing way to finish off the calendar week, but week 5 is still here as we have a game tonight. We went 4-1 yesterday, so that's 10 out of our last 12. We're also 7-1 in October so far. And I say all of this because now we're at a profit of over 11 units. So if you bet $100 on every pick I've shared this week for the 5 weeks, you'll be up almost $1,200 in 5 weeks. That's not too bad. If you could get $1,000 a month, you're doing all right in most parts of the country as a good side hustle. Add this to your daily job, or maybe you bet heavier and this becomes your full job. I don't recommend that, but I'm just trying to say this isn't too shabby. We're on track for that 34 units that we set as the baseline at the beginning of the season, getting 2 units per week. We're still in week 5. We're almost at 12 units, and we have 3 picks tonight that could give us a really nice cushion. We can get up to 14 units, or I guess, yeah, about 14 units today, and we'll be 2 weeks ahead of ourselves. And I like that type of cushion because you never know what's going to happen. Same way I told you I'd catch my stride and we'd rally off a bunch of picks. That was true. What also happens, the betting gods love to balance things out. So it may happen, I don't think it will, but it may happen that we have a couple 1 and 2 nights, coming up to try to balance this out. But my research will outdo that. Make sure you're subscribed because you're going to get these 3 picks since you're here, but you might miss out in the future. And check us out on IG, check us out on Twitter at Moneyline Grind. Before we get to those 3 picks, let's recap. Let's recap Sunday and how we made our money. We took Breece Hall under 50.5 rush yards. We killed this bet here, showing some true skill in my research and sports betting analysis. He finished with just 23 yards, and we make money because of that. Then we had Derrick Henry over 80.5 rush yards, and it took overtime, and I was sweating, but Henry got the job done, and he made us more money. Stephon Diggs over 53.5 reception yards. This was a semi-rivalry game. Diggs going back to play his old team, and my theory proves true. Diggs finished with 83 reception yards, and don't forget that was a 2-unit bet. Then we took an odd one that we don't normally do. We took Reed's longest reception being over 25.5 yards. I saw that they were going against a zone defense here where Jordan Love finds his spots. And he had a 50-plus yard reception on his first catch of the day. Talk about easy money. My only loser was Metcalf getting over 65.5 reception yards. Giants played just out of their mind. They played way above expectations, even the expectations on a universally known good defense that they have. They limited DK to only 55 yards. It was bittersweet because I am a Giants fan, but I'm a bigger fan of money. So let's get back to the money. My 3 best picks coming right at you. Chris Olave over 58.5 reception yards, minus 110 on most books. This might have tinkered up or down. Saints like to run the ball. They attempt the most rushes per game at 34 attempts. However, the Chiefs allow the 8th fewest rush yards and the 4th fewest rush yards per rush. But they also allow the 8th most passing attempts. So they're funneling teams to pass the ball. And that means they'll have to go in the air versus the Chiefs, who, I don't know when's the last time they really lost the game. Typically, when we see stuff like this, you see that, the one team that likes to rush the ball, they're going to try. They're going to try to stay true to their method. They're going to get bottled up. And after 2 or 3 drives that don't amount to anything but a punt, then they're going to go to the air. And if they find some early success in the air, they may stay true to it and kind of flip their style where they're doing a couple plays through the air and then rushing to kind of offset the expectation there. I think they'll be poking around in their offense and seeing what soft spots they can find. Olave is their best receiver. He has a history of cashing for us on this line this season too. And over the last 3 games, he's had over 80 reception yards in all 3. Given that the Saints are 8-point dogs, this sounds like a good game to throw the ball. My second pick, Travis Kelce over 55.5 reception yards, minus 113 on FanDuel. Kelce hasn't been Kelsey so far this year. He's solid, but he's not the same dog that we know. The same dog that we know is still there. Saints allow the fourth most passing attempts, and with Rice and Pacheco still hurt, we can assume Kelsey gets a little bit more looks his way, a couple more targets. He's already a big favorite target of Mahomes. We've seen him and Mahomes connect on tons of third and long plays and tons of touchdowns over the last 3-4 seasons. Chiefs are 11th in passing yards at about 216 per game, but the last 2 weeks we have seen an increase. Last week, 245 passing yards from Mahomes. And the week before that, Mahomes threw 40 attempts, which is much higher than his average of 30 attempts per game. I think the pass game is trending higher for the Chiefs, given the injuries and given just them getting into shape, so much so that our next and final pick doubles down on what I believe, and that is Patrick Mahomes, over 230 pass yards, over 230.5, minus 113 on FanDuel. Mahomes can still sling it. He's still young. The only concern is that without Rice, he doesn't have the same long ball threat. I like to counter that theory by them not having Pacheco means they won't run the ball as much. And I think Kareem Hunt gets a couple of receptions this yard. He's able to break free for a 20-yard at any given moment. And the Saints, yes, they've kind of contained opposing quarterbacks all season, but they won't have the bright lights of the dome, the clarity of seeing the ball that easy, the perfect weather conditions. Although tonight's not too bad. I hear it's only 2 miles per hour on the wind, but it is Kansas City. I'm sure it'll be cold. I'm sure there'll be some wind randomly. And of course, the crowd will play into it. Mahomes is a proven guy. As much as he's polarizing, I root against him all the time. I just always root against him because my eyes can't see it. Maybe it's the penalties that get overturned that doesn't make me a believer. I don't know. But I think he comes out and he slings the ball and he gets some big gains even without his A1 long ball threat. Those are my 3 picks. We're doing well. I'm not trying to get too excited because that's when the betting gods punish you. I do have a couple parlays for you. I know how you guys like it. I have a lotto lay and then my parlay of the day. We'll start with the parlay of the day. A humble 3-legger with a 30% profit boost on FanDuel. This takes it from plus 379 all the way up to plus 492. Real easy. Olave over 4.5 receptions. Mahomes over 18.5 rush yards. And I like the over. I like the combined score over 42.5. So you could put 10 on this. You get a nice pretty penny. I always recommend a quarter of a unit for the parlays and just stick to straight parlay bets, whatever it is. So that's your chance there. And then here's my lotto lay, a ridiculous 7-legger that I don't think you should take, but if I hit, I'm going to be like, why didn't you take this bet? 7-legger plus 10,048 on the odds. $10 wins you over $1,000. I only bet 5 on this. I'm trying to be disciplined. Kelsey TD, Kareem Hunt TD, Kamara TD, Mahomes over 230.5 passing yards, Kelsey over 55.5 reception yards, Olave over 59.5 reception yards, and then Mahomes again over 18.5 rush yards. Those are my picks. Those are my lays. Let's see if we can get this bad boy up to 14. Oh, my ear fell out. Get this bad boy up to 14 units, and we'll have a nice 2-week cushion per se to really build upon. I'm looking to get us to 30 units this season. You can't go wrong with that. If you made $3,000 in a short NFL season and we have other sports, you should just stick around, make that bread. Anyway, guys, let's get that money.